In this section, we're going to look at the composition and anatomy of strong AI prompts and how you can create your own prompts, strong prompts that are going to really benefit you with regards to your work as an accountant, because there is a formula to creating a strong prompt. And once you know that formula, once you understand that formula and how it works, you can take it away and use it in your daily lives. And that's going to help you to create clearer, better, more useful results in your work. And there's going to be 4 core elements of a strong prompt that we are going to cover. But first of all, why do we need these strong prompts? Well, it's because you need to get better results. If you don't provide a decent input, you're not going to get a decent output. And you might then think, oh, well, I tried AI and it was useless. It didn't give me the answers I wanted. Well, was it because you weren't entering the right information? If you enter the incorrect numbers into a calculator and then it gives you an incorrect output, that's not the calculator's fault. That's your fault for not putting the right input in. So it's very important that we get better prompts so we get better results, because vague prompts are going to give vague results. Generic inputs lead to unhelpful outputs. Also, if your structure of your prompt is poor, it's not going to give clear advice, clear clarity for the AI, and therefore it's not going to give you a good result. So clear instructions generate better responses. And of course, better prompts save time. If you ask it a poor prompt and you have to keep going back and forth and asking it, no, make it a bit more like this. Oh, no, that's a bit too much like that. Make it more like this. And back and forth, it's going to take longer to use the AI tool than it did to have just done it yourself, which of course defeats the object of using the AI tool in the first place. And also, remember that you are a professional. You want to tailor your approach to fit your professional needs. If you are an accountant, you need to produce the results that an accountant would produce. If you need to look at specific financial information, you need to ask it those specific financial questions. You can't just say, analyze this from a financial perspective and hope that it gives you the exact metrics that you were looking for. You need to tailor your prompt to tailor your output. So, with that in mind, let's look at the 4-part prompt formula, the structure, the anatomy of a good prompt. And if you follow this formula, now of course you might need to tailor it around a bit, you might need to practice using it, find out what works for you, but for the most part, if you follow this formula, you're going to produce better outputs. So the first step is to introduce the role. The role the AI is playing. The AI needs to know how and who it is. Who is the AI generator or the AI tool in this instance? Do you want it to act as an accountant? Do you want it to act as a solicitor? Do you want it to act as a consultant? What level as well? Is it a partner in this accounting firm? Is it a junior in this accounting firm? You need to tell it who it is pretending to be so that it can produce a response that that person would give. You then need to set the task. You need to specifically remember we mentioned there about vague inputs lead to vague outputs. You need to specifically say exactly what you want it to do. Not just analyze this or review this or draft this. You have to be very specific about the actual outcome. You need to describe the task and describe the outcome. You then need to give it the context so that it will feed that into its role, feed that into its task. So, for example, if you are reviewing information for a client, you need to explain the size of that client. You need to explain the industry that they're in, the location. That's particularly important if you're using it for anything like tax, for example. You need to explain that it's based in the UK so that it will know to use UK tax rules, for example. And then finally, the output as well. How do you actually want the format? It's no good the AI pretending to be an accountant, doing the financial analysis that you want it to do and giving it all the information for the clients that you want it, only for it to then present it in a PowerPoint format when you needed it in an email format. Then you're going to have to do loads of back and forth and copying and pasting and everything to get the right output. So explain exactly how you want it to be formatted as well. And also the tone. Do you want it to be informal? Do you want it to be marketing type content? Do you want it to be very formal because it is going to a government official or whatever it might be? So that's the 4-part prompt formula. Let's see it in action. So we're going to look now at a very quick example of a good formula, or sorry, a good prompt. So here is a prompt that covers those things. So act as a UK accountant. Write a short, friendly email to a self-employed client explaining why they should start keeping digital records for making tax digital. Assume that they are not very tech savvy. So let's break this down. We've identified the role. The AI is acting as an accountant based in the UK. The task is to write a short but friendly email explaining why they should start keeping digital records. It's given us the context that the client is self-employed, that they are not very tech savvy, and that they need to keep these records because they are preparing for making tax digital. And the style, again, is short, friendly email format. That is a breakdown of a prompt, of a good prompt. So let's look at a bad prompt and a good prompt side by side and also see the output. So we've got a weak prompt here. Help with VAT. I'm analyzing some reports and I need help with VAT. Give me help with VAT. Well, there's no role there. There's no task. There's no context. And how do you want this? Do you want it as an email, as a PowerPoint, as a report? How could we improve that? Well, you might say, well, act as UK accountant, explain how flat rate VAT applies to a freelance designer earning £40,000. Keep your output informal and brief. We've clearly identified the role, we've explained the task, we've given the context, and we've given the output as well. A professional but informal and brief explanation. And let's see how that actually works in practice. So here is our first prompt, help with VAT. Well, for starters, it's not even letting me do that because it's not even understanding what we're asking. So I'll ask it again. I just need help. And so it's given us a very vague checklist. Is it that you don't know what your client needs? Are you struggling to file VAT returns? It doesn't know. It's even going to lengths to basically ask us, what are you actually trying to do? I don't really know what you want me to do. So that's an example of what happens when you have a very poor prompt. Now let's look at a better prompt. And you can see this was our improved prompt for that same question. Let's ask it a question and see if it provides a better output for us. And you can see it's already getting there. It knows what it wants, what we want it to do. It's giving us a breakdown of earning. It's understanding that. It's now giving us a calculation of what it means. Now, of course, we need to double check the information here, but it's given us a far better response there. It's understood the context and it's provided us with some specific outcomes. So a far better prompt as a result of a far better output as a result of a far better prompt. And we can then continue asking it questions there, asking it more advice of what do you suggest I do, and so on.